Welcome everybody to the Global Labs update of February 14th, 2025. We have a few things to go through. First off, we have some content changes for War of the Roses. There's apparently a change for the scroll and the initial position. Gonna have to see what the actual translation is in this case. Similar thing when the game was appeared during Rose of War. There apparently was a phenomenon. So, I mean, we'll have to see what this actually means once it's properly translated. With the Arena of Solaire, we're getting some changes on the rewards. So you get from 401 to 800 points, they're adding another Solar Box of Encouragement. Not as good as the one if you're in the 800 plus bracket, but still 60 mil and 30 Solar tokens, as it seems kind of like as a bonus on victory. And they fixed a few phenomenons where you could ping in party chat after Solar, and also if you died, you could still go into the match, and that has now been set to auto refuse. They changed some barter routes, nothing major. The biggest change of this update is definitely the origin of Dark Hunger and the taint from Honglim and Dokubi is getting a massive change. So they're pretty much buffing it. This is our old increasement probabilities. We're looking at 100 to 105, you would gain 15. This is getting split up into smaller brackets, so 100, 101, it'll gain 26 fail stacks. 102 to 105, 25, and so on and so forth. Like, it does become less still. However, they gave us some nice, simple examples. So if you are at 100 stack and you want to get it to a 300, it used to take 43. Now it will take a total of 22. Another example is from 100 to 209. It used to take 13 Origins of Dark Hunger, and it will now take 7. Similar thing for the weakened version from Land of the Morning Light. It used to give you 8 from 100 to 104. Now it will give you 13 in that same bracket. The later brackets are getting buffed up a little bit, so in the end, if you go from 100 to a 300 with the Tainted, it goes from 98 needed to 49, and from 100 to a 150 stack, it's going from 9 to only 5 being needed. Overall, pretty big change. I would say stop using them in the current state. Like, this week should be a no-tap week, because if you want to raise your fail stacks with these, you definitely want to wait for this update. Then we have a big announcement for the Golden Pig Cave as a monster zone. They do mention that the zone isn't open all the time. It bursts open at random, much like a field boss. That is a little bit weird, but we'll have to see about all the details. They do mention a lot in here, but with the Korean translation, it's a little bit off. So first off, they do mention it acts a little bit like a Marnie realm. You will also get a special prize called Rare Treasures. And effectively, from what we can see is, well, AP recommended, it's 1150 AP and 640 DP total. We're looking at battling a few but strong monsters. Agris Heat free application. It sounds like Agris Essence won't have an effect, but we'll see when it comes out. And it opens at random times, and when you go open, you will get a message note at the top of the screen, kind of like we do with field bosses. You will then talk to an NPC on the location, and it will enter into a sort of Marnie realm. After killing pigs, or after a certain time, the head monster, well, the Golden Pig King will appear, and if you finally kill the Golden Pig King, the essence will end, and you will apparently accumulate something. It is a little bit weird, but I mean, we'll have to see how this goes. It sounds kind of interesting. You do seem to be pitted against other adventurers, sort of like the good old abandoned monastery, but at the same time, you're not actively fighting them. So it seems to be more of a RNG-based bonus. The main loot that we get mentioned is the translation origin of subtle dark predation, so the blue fail stacks from Land of the Morning Light. It also seems that we will be getting the crystals again, so for Essence of Dawn drops will be happening. Kaffir stones, flower, I'm unsure what they mean, but also gold and silver treasures, which they mention at 59,415 silver, so that is probably the drop on the location. The golden silver treasures that they mention, these will be obtained by only one person from the entire server during the time when the realm is open. I have no idea if this is RNG or if it's actually like a proper, like how many people you kill. This could make it a bit more interesting. This is what I mean with the pitting between people on the same server. The rewards there are 100 Essence of Dawn, then a yellow rating accessory box, which includes Devil Record accessories, the Black Distos, and it also seems like Baja's Dawn. And they also mentioned Jolly Loot in a golden box. So it seems like it's quite a lot of silver you could make, especially the 100 Essence of Dawn. It does seem like this is guaranteed the 100 Essence of Dawn, which would indicate, I mean, if you win, it's a bill. That's a lot of money to be able to be made. There are some extra notes that if you die, you will be sent out of the zone. When you enter via defeat or you exit, there's a re-entry time in the same way as the Marnie's or Secret Realm. And after a long time of entering, you'll be forced to leave from the realm. And apparently, in this case, the reward is not obtained. So we'll have to see what this means overall. It sounds a lot like this will end up being a sort of abandoned monastery-esque Marnie realm. So there's no direct PvP, but you are competing with the other members on the server that have entered the realm. Little bit interesting. I mean, could be that people might use some alts or the travel separately tag system simply because you don't want to stand there and it's currently closed. But we'll see what the details are. Sadly, it is not available on the global server, so I won't be able to check it out. Then we have a change for Crescent Decia again. There's apparently they're changing the range of the stunning, and they're also changing it that the message was not appearing when the crystal would appear, and apparently this has been fixed. There's also a small change for the. I'm pretty sure this was Calamity 8, 9, 10 Sangoon. Apparently, there was a specific attack pattern that was unnatural that has been corrected. We have some background NPC effect and cutscenes. So they've improved a lot of quality in the background surface textures. So the straw huts are getting a slight facelift. The houses in Heidel are also getting a rooftop facelift. To be honest, it looks a little bit more normal, not as, well, fake. Visual update, very minimal, but overall quite nice. With that, we're also getting a change on the snowboard track. Apparently, when the character location is moved by boarding the riding slope, it has been moved to the arrival point of the slope, so we'll have to see. Then we have some slight UI changes for the Barter exchange system. We'll now be able to see of how many of the item that we'd be trading for we have in storage. Earlier today I was bartering and I was exactly thinking this, like I need to make a suggestion because I would like to see of what I'm missing of the goal item, but this is a pretty awesome change. There's also a tiny change for the warehouse management button being added for when you buy the items for the barters directly and even moving them. I mean, this is also a little bit interesting. We'll have to see how good this works. And if you're in the conversation with the wharf manager, you can also use the Find My Item function, which also sounds pretty nice. There's also a small fix for the gamepad only UI for gamepad players on PC. So there's also so you can access the things a bit better. There's also some registration changes, and the effect of changing worker skills has been improved, so there's apparently a small bug with that. They're definitely on the up and up. Finally, we already have the modification and changes. So there's apparently some changes for Deadeye on some costumes. Also some visual problems with the Godderide revolver on Deadeye that are being fixed. Small changes to a quest, which effectively is just what is being requested to make it a little bit more clear. Then some changes for log items for box items, appearance window modifications, and some general fixes. There's also a small change for fixing on Uturi, where it did not reset. We'll have to see if this might fix some of the bugs that Uturi has when you spawn. Again, some changes on Sherakan. When you would get knocked down, there was apparently some issues. And otherwise, just general fixes on small UIs and, well, glitching areas. Finally, a small change on an item acquisition tooltip for the Heidel Northern Gothic Fountain. That has been adjusted to tell you how much energy you need. And with that, we're already done for this week's Global Labs. Overall, Barter UI changes, really nice. We got the visual changes. Great to see a facelift being done on a lot of the older zones. Golden picking looks quite interesting. We'll have to see the details, but the value could be quite good, especially with the small window. I mean, getting a bill if you get lucky or if you manage to be the best on the server, we'll have to see what the requirement is to get the actual golden drop. Overall, could be very interesting and a lot of money for a lot of people. Right now, tab free week. Remember, do not use your Origins of Dark Hungers and your Tainted Hungers. You want to keep these definitely to next week till this change goes through. And finally, Arena of Solaire changes for the lower ranks. Okay, it's nice giving it a bit of extra value during those lower steps. And with that, I say thank you, and I'll see you next Thursday for the regular patch notes, and we'll see if how much of this already hits us.